Hello fellow tankers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today I bring to you three replays with the tank that I've been playing last couple days. T69, American Tier 8 medium tank, which is an autoloader. Honestly, my opinion about this tank, very underwhelming kind of tank. Mobility wise, it's okay. What's subpar? It's its gun performance. So maybe before we begin with the game and commentary and talking about the strategy, let's have a few words about this tank. So as far as weaponry goes, this tank is very horrible DPM. 1806 DPM, which is very subpar. If you compare it to like a Tiger that has like almost 3000 DPM, it's yeah, it's really nothing to talk about. It's the gun performance overall is pretty poor. 4 shell clip, 240 damage per clip. Standard penetration 181 millimeters. Pathetic, honestly. For tier 8, if you have to go against IS-3s, not even to mention tier 9s like E75s, it's horrible standard penetration. Reload time about 25 seconds. With I guess my reload is somewhere low 20s, I would say, with vents. Dispersion 0.36. Aim time is another problem. Aim time is 2.78 seconds. It's pretty bad. So why am I playing this tank? I don't know. For challenge, I guess. I'm trying to see. Basically, I'm challenging myself. After playing French autoloaders and Swedish autoloaders, I'm trying to see if I can actually get a grip on this tank. It seems to me that when played as a bottom tier, you have to be really cautious, obviously. I mean, you can't penetrate much unless you go into battle with like light tanks, maybe medium tanks. But then again, you'll lose that battle as well because your mobility is not as good. So you have to serve mostly as a spotter. And yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do in this game. Actually, I'm trying to provide a little bit of spotting for my team, but it doesn't seem like my team doesn't really cares. This Emil 2 that's sitting on top of the hill here, he's just sitting and twiddling his thumbs. No one's doing anything about it. So I'm basically trying to look for shots over here. And nothing is progressing, so I decided just to clear out. A few more things about this tank. Top speed is about 50 kilometers an hour, or a little bit over 50 kilometers an hour, which mobility wise is not too bad. The reverse speed is about 20 kilometers an hour, not the greatest. Tank traverse 43.8. What else? Gun elevation 14 degrees, gun depression 9 degrees, which is not horrible, but not the greatest for the lack of firepower on this tank. It would have been nice to see a little bit more of gun depression, like -10 maybe. Hull armor, nothing to brag about. About 100 in the front, 76 on the side, 38 in the back. Turret armor, 152 in the front, which is, I gotta say, you could actually, it bounces a little bit. I've actually bounced a few shots from different tanks, even IS-3, in my second replay, I believe. With this turret armor, maybe people don't know where to shoot. If you shoot straight in the gun, obviously it's gonna bounce. You have to be aiming for the cheeks of the turret in order to penetrate it. Side turret armor only 114, and overall health pool 1350. So here I was actually debating to go into this ball area a little bit earlier, but I wanted to see the T30 stop to clear the ridge so I can actually engage the ST82. And T30 cleared, so I engaged the ST82. Now my goal is to try to put few rounds into this Emil too, who has been sitting there untouched for like longest time. Nobody cares. We have 3 artilleries. No one cares about this guy. So I end up putting three rounds into this tank, and I think one of our tanks finishes him off at the end. One more thing to say about T69. Because of the lack of penetration, you're gonna see yourself use heat shells a lot more. And let's see, what is the penetration on the... Heat penetration is 240 millimeters, so with heat you can do a little bit of damage, I would say. Still, if you have to go through heavy armor like IS-3 or E75, STIs for instance, it's going to be extremely difficult, but doable with heat. So, but again, you're going to find yourself losing a lot of money with this tank. So if you want to play it, get ready for that, because you're going to end up using a lot more premium shells than you do standard shells due to its penetration values. So here is a good example. I'm going to come up to E75. I don't even bother aiming at front hull. I try to aim at the turret, but once he turns his turret, the out of bounds angle becomes huge, and basically there's no way I can penetrate him. Another example will be this STI. There's no, and he's got stock turret as well, and I cannot penetrate. I was actually aiming for his turret ring over there. So I'm trying to go back to E75, and here I managed to penetrate the side of his turret. So the other team, like, the game is kind of close, but you see the other team's tier 9 heavy tanks are in a bit of predicament. Like, they're in a pretty bad positions, both of them. So we have the high ground. It's easy for us to poke out here and get a few shots of damage here and there to trying to get them out of the game. So I'm reloading at the time. I'm trying to see if there's another way from this side of this bunker, if I can actually get any shots on E75. But it doesn't seem there is a way to poke out here. And I don't really want to slide down. I don't want to engage E75 frontally. If he turns towards me and I'm on the bottom, I'm probably dead. Unless I go around him, I guess. So I'm gonna try to engage this STI. Let's see how this gun performs with heat. So I bounce one shell, side of the turret, bounce second one, turret ring. The shell goes up, turret ring again, penetrates the turret ring. So one out of 4 shells actually manages to penetrate the turret ring of STI. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Although STI is pretty bouncy, I guess, with any other gun, and the turret, and that turret that STI has, it can easily bounce the shots. So now that E75 is gone, I'm making my move. I'm trying to engage this STI maybe from the side. So you could see me kind of looking around the bunker to see which way he's facing. I didn't know whether he was facing me or not, and he was facing the other thing. Obviously I didn't want to engage him when he was facing me, but he got taken out, so I changed my target. Again, I have high ground, and I'm trying to help my tier 10 over here. So again, out of four shells, 3 hit and 1 bounces, and these are heat shells on the back of IS-3. Yeah, back of IS-3. I know IS-3 is bouncy, but hello.
Enemies looking right at us.
So now I'm gonna reload again. My medium tank manages to take out the IS-3, and this is pretty much game over. Only artillery left. I don't think I'll be able to get to it on time. I'm trying to make a dash for it. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Nope. And the game is over. So overall, not really fantastic game. It's really hard to get good games with this tank, honestly, guys. It's really, really difficult. I really tried. And as you can see, I lost money because of usage of heat. But about 4k combined damage, not too bad in a tier 10 game. Was it tier 10? No, tier 9 game. Tier 10 would have been... Actually, this tank in a tier 10 game... Well, actually, what? There was one tier 10, I guess, per side. But this tank in a tier 10 game is... it's... I don't know. You can't really play. I mean, it's almost impossible to play at tier 10. You basically have to hide all game and find your damage. You have to make sure everybody else engages, that nobody sees you, and then maybe you can poke out and take a few shots and get your damage that way. So moving on to the second game, Windstorm. I don't necessarily like this map per se, but there's one exception. If you draw on this side of the map the way I did, and you do have a relatively good gun depression, I will show you the spot that's very effective. Especially if you want to go down to the city brawling. And again, this spot is very effective for tanks with good gun depression, also with good turret armor. Like, I don't have a greatest turret armor, but I think I can utilize it in this scenario. It's a tier 8 game, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But you can see me, I'm already loading the heat shells, simply because I know I'll be engaging their heavy tanks right here. So this is the spot that I was talking about. You basically have to dash quickly and cross the river. And once you get to the other side, there's this little hill area here where a lot of tanks like to come to brawl. So see here I can nicely just poke out and take shots on this AMX. Obviously aiming on his weak spot, which is that little, I don't know what that is, a cupola. It's not really a cupola, it's kind of a cupola. Again, you have to hit that thing. If you're hitting a AMX AC-48 in that cupola thingy, you have to aim in the middle. If you go to the right or to the left, it's not gonna pen. It has to be almost in the middle. Again, talking about this spot, I actually have a game in an email 2. So emails actually are fantastic for this spot because no one can pen the turret of email. You can easily, with the gun depression that email has, you can poke out here and do some real damage. I actually have a game in email 2, a tier 10 game, when I was able to block about 5,000 damage just by poking out that ridge. And all the tier 10s tried to penetrate my turret, they couldn't do it. So it's a really good spot, but you have to have some backup. You have to have the team with you in order to do this, because if you're here all by yourself, you're just gonna get run over and YOLO'd, so you don't want to be doing that. So we're progressing nicely here in the city. Middle of the map seems to be losing. Yeah, so here I'm just gonna YOLO in, just because I want to unload the clip. I want to get rid of... I basically want to be able to win the city as quickly as possible before we lose the center of the map. So you could see me here moving back and forth. I was trying to basically avoid the shots from T62, make sure he doesn't hit me. So it was a good clip. I unloaded four shots. Now I'm on a reload. My team is moving forward, and we're gonna engage this KV-4 right now. Now look at this Borsig. Guys, never do this. Basically, first of all, he doesn't have a gun depression. Not a gun depression, sorry, turret armor. He doesn't have turret armor. He's trying to... I don't know what he was trying to do, but basically, if you do something like this and you have teammates that are backing you up, you're basically blocking them from shooting. So please, please, don't do that. Try... when you... unless you're trying to be selfish and get more damage at the end of the game, I understand that. Perfectly fine in that case. I mean, I'm okay. If you're having a great game and you want to deal more damage and you want to be a little bit selfish, so be it. You know, everyone is a bit selfish in this game, even myself on occasion. So, but if the game is close as this and you're trying to engage and get rid of the enemies as quickly as possible, don't ever block your teammates from shooting, because it's just not a good practice. Because I could have unloaded a little bit earlier on this guy and maybe be in this position a bit quicker, and now, you know, it's... Anyway, you get my point. So here I'm trying to hit the cupola on objects 416. Again, wasn't a bad clip, but shooting at that distance in a weak spot like that, it's extremely difficult. So here we're losing badly. We already lost the middle of the map. There's only 3 tanks left, me and 2 tank destroyers. So at this point I decided to drop and help my T68 Proto. And again, another lesson for you guys. If you are low on numbers like this, try to fall back and fight together with your teammates. You have better chance surviving if there's more of you than just being isolated somewhere. So I told Scorpion, please fall back, come with me. And I was hoping that T68 Proto can hold up long enough for us to come back and engage. But unfortunately that's not going to be the case, because you could see there's a medium and light tank already rolling through the middle of the city. So at this point I had a decision to make. Do I go and engage and help my my prototype, or do I just turn around and start dealing with tanks coming from the city? So I decided to turn around. And look at this, guys. You're trying to take somebody out. That was a very critical shot I had to take, and I wasted 1 shot and I got a critical. 1 shot and I got a critical on a Scorpion. Now that should have been a kill. And those criticals are really peeing me off, honestly. Like, sometimes you just shoot a tank from behind, you hit him in the back, and you get draw a critical. I mean, I don't understand the point of criticals. For me, they should be basically, you should get damage with a critical at the same time. Doesn't make any sense. So here I'm just fighting for survival. I think I bounced 1 shot from IS-3, but I had a tank on behind me, so there's nothing more I could do. If I guess if the prototype if it survived a little bit longer, maybe you would have been able to take this game, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. But relatively decent game. Only class 3 mastery, 3.2k damage. Again, lost money in the process. Like I told you guys, you're gonna be losing money with this tank. So if you don't like losing money, don't play it, honestly, because it's gonna hurt. Finish at top of the team. Scorpion G is second, 2500 damage, and their platoon basically took over the game, and that happens. You couldn't do anything about it. Okay, so let's move forward to the third game. Third game, we're gonna do Prokhorovka, North Spawn, tier 8 game. So again, relatively good matchmaking, no artillery, which I'm extremely happy about. So what we're going to try to do here, like in any case with Prokhorovka, we're going to try to go in the middle of the map and see if we can poke up and get some damage. One strategy when it comes to Prokhorovka, I mean the only strategy when it comes to Prokhorovka, is being patient. This map is so open, and you can basically, the positions you take on the ridge, on the hill, you have to be careful because the fire might be incoming from every direction. So I'll show you kind of some of the positioning I use here in this game. So first things first, I'm gonna try to come into the middle of the map here, which is the usual place I start with on Prokhorovka, if I have a tank with good gun depression, obviously. And I'm gonna try to get some spots here, see if I can maybe get a few shots. This spot is good here because it protects from basically from the left side, from the hill. Well, it doesn't protect from the hill. Basically what happens is that enemy tanks don't make it usually in time to the hill in order to shoot you on this side. So if you poke out over the hill, you're relatively safe from the left side at the beginning of the game only. Once the enemy team starts climbing up, what is it, G0 area, somewhere over there, then you have to be careful. Now here, you see what I'm doing. Basically, I'm trying to get shots over to the other side of the map, But on the left side, I'm protected with the houses. You can see there's a couple houses. They're distractible houses, but as long as they're not distracted, not destroyed, I get protection from them here. So basically I can safely just roll up here, and it gives me a little bit of a high ground, so I can get the shots over to the other side of the map. So I'm on a reload here. The team is winning, which is pretty good.
Focus on this area.
This distribution of the team is all right. The only thing of concern would be a lack of light tanks or medium on in about, what is it, E3 area there, because usually you know, enemy likes to sit around J2, H2 kind of area. So but right now there's no one also in the middle here, so I'm trying to cover this area here so that nobody YOLOs over the middle. And now I'm looking for shots at the on people on the hill. So another thing, this spot here is good for shooting people on the hill. So let's say if we're losing the hill and the Reds are rolling over, this position here where I was at a few seconds ago is fantastic to take shots on the hill. So here I decided to kind of maybe start scooting over to the other side. It looks like most of our tanks on the hill are doing their business. I think we're pretty much taking control of the hill. So I didn't think we would be able to get any shots there at this point. So after I reload, I'm gonna try to move over to the other side of the map, E3 area around there, to see if I can get a few spots and maybe fire a few shots. And here again, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm engaging this Challenger, but before I climbed up that little ridge here, I made sure that there is a rock in between myself and the usual camping spot of the enemy team. See that rock on the left? Keep that always in mind, guys. Always protect yourself from one side so you can shoot to the other side. You don't want to be coming up, engaging someone on the right and exposing yourself from the left. So there, I unloaded my clip. Obviously not open penetrated as usual. It's T69, I get used to it. So now I'm gonna reload. But I'm not spotted, so I basically climbed up here, and I know that Tiger P's still there. I know he's still there. So I'm gonna try to unload my clip there. 2 shots go in. 3rd shot doesn't. That means he's relocated. At that point, I pull back, and I'm gonna think what to do here next. So I decided to go for a reload. All of a sudden, the game got kind of close. It's 6-6. The hill's still fighting, which is good, but they lost, well, it looks like heavy casualties over there. Only 2 tanks left on the hill right now. Again, my priority here is to make sure we clear this side of the map. There's still a lot of dangerous tanks left. This T28 prototype, for instance. Tried to get a shot there, but I didn't want to overexpose myself, so I'm falling back again. So I think it's time now to move over to the other side and help out the Tiger. Actually, Tiger 2 had a pretty decent game as well. So yeah, I'm gonna move over to this side right now. Let's see if we can clear this side. If we can clear this side, then it would allow us to basically flank the opposition. See, there's this little ball here, which is very useful as well, because from here, if you have gun depression again, you could, if right side is cleared, you can try taking shots to the left without being hit. So I was thinking about using this Tiger there as a shield, but I realized that T69 is not heavy enough to push it. I wasn't able to push him at all, so I decided to drop. Anyway, again, you can see me, I'm playing very, very patiently. I'm only taking the shots that I need to. I'm maintaining my health pool. Maybe I'm not getting the damage that I should be getting, But again, with this tank, with the DPM and with so many bounces that you can get with those poor penetrating shells, you do what you can do. So here, this side's clear now. We can move on for move up for the kills, final kills. I think this game will be pretty much wrapped up at this point. They have only 3 tanks left. The prototype is gone. The Tiger P still sitting in the same spot that I found him before. I don't understand what this guy is doing.
Enemy scrap.
Another example, you have to fully aim the shots with this tank. If you don't fully aim shots, they're just gonna go anywhere. The gun is a potato, honestly. It's not the greatest. I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend this tank to anybody that wants to play it. I mean, the only reason you would want to play this tank is to get to T57. Even the tier 9, T54E1, I believe, is not the best tank. The gun is a potato as well. It's really... when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. You know? So here, I got 4 shells left. I'm thinking Top Gun. Top Gun. Definitely I could get a Top Gun here if I can penetrate all my shots. But the targets are pretty soft. I should be able to do that. So I wasn't firing until I get there. Here I can take a hit. I don't care now. I have enough hit points to take. So I'm just gonna clear my clip. Kaboom! The game over. I got my Top Gun. Yay! Well, everybody loves Top Guns. I love Top Guns. They're fantastic. So in this game, a little over 4k combined damage, 3000 damage, class 1 mastery. Again, nothing to brag about, but a decent game. I found that's all you're gonna find with this tank. It's gonna be extremely difficult for you guys to have anything better than that. Again, 15 penetrating shots. I'm happy with this game. So at its own tier, the tank is okay. But being a low tier, it's gonna be trouble. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this run. Until next time, Space Bandit, checking out.